This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
LinkedIn is pretty amazing at helping you grow your small business. We cannot stop your new clients from emailing you at 3 a.m. We can help you sell, market, and hire in one place. We cannot help you be in 3 places at once. And while we can't help you organize your calendar, LinkedIn can help you land more clients so you have a calendar to organize. Grow your small business on LinkedIn. Learn more at linkedin.com/smallbusiness.
Welcome in. It is First Things First Overtime live in New York. That is Al Harrington still celebrating the Knicks' big win, just like the U.S. men's national team. And here we are in World Cup corner with former U.S. men's national team midfielder Dax McCarty, who's going to be with us throughout the entire World Cup. I, of course, am Danny Parkins, and we are very excited that the World Cup is underway as one of the co-host countries, Mexico, up 2-0 on South Africa. Looking pretty good in that opener there. We will get to the NBA Finals in just a little bit, but a pretty impressive opener for Mexico. Dax, what did you think of their first impression?
Yeah, Danny, you're not going to hear me say this often, but I want the U.S. men's national team to take a page out of Mexico's book and start their game exactly how Mexico started this game against South Africa. That's Eric Lira, the defensive midfielder for Mexico, stepping up, pressing high, suffocating South Africa, trying to play out of the back foolishly and getting an early goal. Julian Quiñones was fantastic throughout the entire game, a real thorn in the side of South Africa, but this is exactly how you want to start as the host country. Raul Jimenez off a great ball from Jose Alvarado, putting Mexico up 2-0. What a fantastic story Jimenez has been. But this is the perfect start for Mexico. Frustrate the opponent, press high, get your fans behind you, some of the most passionate fans that we are going to see at this World Cup. It is the perfect start to this tournament for a host country in Mexico.
Yeah, they seem like they really frustrated South Africa. A couple red cards, they let go of the rope a little bit.
Yeah,
there.
Exactly. This game delved into a little bit of chaos, and it was because South Africa was frustrated. And a quick note on Raul Jimenez, a guy who's played in 3 World Cups already, but this is the first World Cup that he's going to be the full-time starter for Mexico. A guy whose career almost ended back in 2020 after a catastrophic head injury. He was out for about a year. What a cathartic moment for him to come through, score a goal for Mexico in their World Cup that they are hosting in an absolutely iconic stadium. You can't help but feel really happy for him. Great start for Mexico.
Unbelievable start. 1 match down, 103 to go. I'll see you in about 20 minutes to begin filling out the 2026 World Cup
Absolutely.
Big Board. See you in a little bit.
Soon.
All right, but this is the city, of course, that never sleeps. And I think actually, literally, last night, this city did not go to sleep after one of the all-time great sporting performances in the NBA Finals. Al Harrington, you were at Central Park for the watch party. Kevin O'Connor, who's going to be joining us, he was at Madison Square Garden. We'll be back to World Cup Corner a little bit later. But the heroics from last night were absolutely spectacular. The largest comeback in NBA Finals history. 29-point comeback with a game-winning tip-in by OG Anunoby. Of course, plenty of heroics from Jalen Brunson as well. So, Al, you were watching with the fans. KOC was at the Garden. Greatest game in Knicks history? You're a guy who can make the claim.
Right. I think it was one of the greatest, if not the greatest. Those guys never quit, man. It was really impressive the way that they played. You know, they banded together. Being down 29 points, they could have easily just packed it in and just said, you know what, we'll go back to San Antonio top. We played well there. We'll just take our chances there. But I don't know. I just felt like they felt the pressure of the city and the fact that everybody wanted them to play better, and they just got going. You know, Mike Brown did an unbelievable job he tried everybody. I think all 15 men on the roster played last night. He was looking for somebody. Jose Alvarado was the one that actually stepped up and him and Brunson is not traditional for them, but, you know, it made all the difference in the world, and they won an unbelievable game, as we all saw.
KOC, what was it like to be there, man?
Oh, my God. Best game I've ever attended. I've seen some great moments in sports. Red Sox hitting 4 home runs in a row. Great comebacks. Isaiah Thomas scoring 50 days after his sister died. TD Garden blowing up. Nothing was like this. I mean, it was you could hear a pin drop in the first half when the Knicks were down so big. I mean, all the anxiety we talked about in recent days about what it could be like in Game 4, it happened, and yet it turned into what it did. I've never experienced anything like that in the lead up to that win, and even after the game, right? Like usually they try to usher all the fans out. It was like a party for 10 minutes after. People dancing, jumping up and down. Nobody was leaving. It was a night I'll remember for the rest of my life.
I was at the Garden for the 6 overtime Syracuse-UConn game way back in the day. And I don't know, that game last night might have been better. And it was, $10,000 a ticket to sit in the lower level. And I think Knicks fans got their money's worth. People are saying we're going to remember that game forever. So let's go through it. Let's remember the moments that made that game so special and what it was. And I think we need to begin really at the beginning. Karl Anthony Towns, I was positive this was going to be the story of the game 62 seconds into the game. 2 borderline foul calls, depending on your interpretation, that both go against the Knicks, that both go against Cat. The early challenge, and I thought, Al, that totally set the tempo for the game, and it looked like that was going to be the end of the story.
It did. I mean, if you look at every game, all 4 games, one of our starters have been in foul trouble early in the game in the first couple minutes, and Cat, I think, was actually game 2. So, yeah, it seems like when Cat got out of there, it kind of threw out everything off. Defensively, it threw us off. Offensively, it threw us off. That's the reason why we were down so many points. But even Cat, got to give him credit. Like I keep saying, he's matured so much in these playoffs. It's not like he's a young kid or anything, but he's just learned to just continue to fight through it, continue to go take the next play approach, and it's been pretty impressive.
I thought that also KOC, I thought it made the Knicks kind of lose their poise after it as well.
100% they did. It felt like they lost all their rhythm, like Al said earlier in the game. But Cat, got to give him credit, right? Like he came back that second half, hits the clutch 3, and I'm sure you have some other plays listed on your list there, Danny. But Karl Anthony Towns, so vital to this Knicks team, and to see him thrown out early. To me, early in the game, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth if the Knicks had lost with those ticky-tack fouls. But the fact they came back from that is just extraordinary.
Yeah, no one wants to see a game decided by the officiating, but it's been such a huge part of the story. So then the Spurs are going on a run, and Wemby is just backing it up and talking the talk. Mitchell Robinson, shoves him, hits him above the head. He goes down. Wemby's talking trash. And at this moment, I'm thinking, oh, my God, Wemby has cracked the code here. And at this moment in time, KOC, I'm thinking Spurs in 6 because Wemby had broken the Knicks.
I mean, it felt like he truly was in their head at the time when he did that. And he had good reason to do that. I like the trash talk there. And, Mitchell Robinson obviously had a flagrant foul on him as well. And, look, Victor Wembanyama had an unbelievable first half and had right to talk like that. But it seemed like everything turned shortly after that with him. The Spurs kind of they gave up the intensity, took their foot off the pedal, started taking some threes in that second quarter. I know they built the lead a little bit, but it seemed like things changed and they became a little bit complacent, I thought, really after that moment.
Yeah, he was just accepting that villain role, right? They said they were going to turn him into a villain, and that's what he was trying to do here on the biggest stage. At that point, they were playing so well, and, I think after he hit that shot, the reason why Mitchell ran and chucked him like that was because he was actually talking to him, walking, as he was coming back down the court. So I'm happy he made that statement, right? Because we talked about that, trying to get him within the confines of the game, and he get the hit here, and then to your point, things started to change after that.
All right, well, so then halftime, I'm texting people and I'm saying, is that the best half of basketball I've ever seen a team play? Like, it was a record for points scored by a road team in the finals. It was a record for most three-pointers in a half. And the Spurs only had 1 turnover. 14 threes, 1 turnover, a 27-point lead. But then as we about to jump ahead to the next moment, between halftime and the infamous Josh Hart play that we'll get to in a second, that graphic right there encapsulates a lot of Brunson makes, a lot of OG makes, and a lot of missed threes from the Spurs. It just started to unravel. But then we pick it up 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And Josh Hart, I thought this moment was going to be the thing that was like, this is the play that we're going to remember. He's going to, hero and GOAT. It can be a thin line here. How are you feeling as a Knick in this exact moment?
I mean, you're just like, I can't believe I missed that. Like, you're like, why are the basketball gods picking on me? What have I done, right? But, I mean, I've been there before. I've missed a layup like that. Sometimes, like, your momentum
not
is
in the finals.
Not in the finals, though. But you're like, your momentum's going too fast. You kind of jump in the air. You think you should dunk it, but then you realize I'm not high enough to dunk it. So I got to, like, leave it and just try to drop it in. And that's what he tried to do. He tried to drop it into the basket, and obviously it hit the back rim and came out.
Listen, KOC, jump in whenever you want, man. But the best part about this play, as someone who had no real rooting interest in it, if we could show my man Larry David.
Larry was
this felt like a real-life Curb Your Enthusiasm moment where he is just, like, bending over, is, like, going to absolutely, guys, like, look at him. It's like he was, like, fainting in the spot. And I think he was, like, the embodiment of, I don't know, 2.5 million New Yorkers in that moment, KOC?
I mean, it needed the Curb music to play in that moment with that reaction there. Dude, I thought that was the moment that the Garden was going to explode because we were heading towards it, right? I'm sure it was like that for you, Al, in the park, where you're waiting, like, there's going to be an explosion, and then that happened? I mean, there's so many moments down the stretch of that game where I was like, oh, wow, the Knicks are actually going to win this. The Cat step back 3, like 7 minutes to go in the fourth. I was like, wow, they're actually going to do this. And then when that happened, that's where for the first time in a while I was like, wait a minute, maybe they're not going to do this. Right. So, yeah, it's insane how it went back and forth the way it did.
All right, now let's start talking superstars because there's a million things that you could pick from Victor Wembanyama, who started unbelievably hot. He was 5 of 7 from the floor. We showed you the Mitchell Robinson play. But after that, you get into a situation where he is in a spot where it's like, oh, this is the De'Aaron Fox layup. So De'Aaron Fox goes up for this layup. There's the block. Dribble the ball out, man. Dribble the ball out, Al.
Yeah, either dribble the ball out, pump fake. OG's running full speed. He's not going to be able to stop at that point. Pump fake. At the end of the day, you were supposed to get free throws. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that, De'Aaron just had a couple brain farts during this game. And this was the biggest one, right? You just expect a guy that's been in the league this long. He's a 28-year-old, obviously a vet, been clutch player of the year, played in big games before, took the Warriors to a game 7 where he played unbelievable. You would think that he would know this in this moment. And I was just truly surprised that, I'm sure you was too as well, KOC.
I mean, look, this is situational basketball. In a moment like this, I felt like he rushed it. He should have dribbled it out. I don't understand what he said after the game when Fox said, I thought I could outrun him. You couldn't feel him. It looked like he kind of took a little peek over his right shoulder. I think he knew OG Anunoby was breathing down his neck there. He should have dribbled it out, wasted a few seconds, hit a free throw or two, and like forced the Knicks to have to hit a 3 to tie the game. But I just thought this moment in the game really just symbolized everything that went wrong for the Spurs and right for the Knicks down the stretch. So many brain fart decisions by the San Antonio Spurs, and for the New York Knicks, just constant hustle and resilience, never giving up despite being down 29 points.
Well, and De'Aaron Fox, right? He threw the ball away. He had the 4 turns, had the foul at near half court on the near over and back. The former clutch player of the year had some real tough moments. So as we go in order here, we skip the Wemby free throws. We can get to the signature play of the game at this spot. OG Anunoby, I mean, out of nowhere. It's kind of remarkable that he gets the block on De'Aaron Fox and about 10 seconds of game time later hits the iconic tip-in. Best defensive moment for the Knicks in 50 years, best offensive moment for the Knicks in 50 years, and it's the same player doing it within 10 seconds of each other of Game 4 of the Finals.
It was all one guy, right? Like typically, like we expect guys like LeBron James to make the block and get the layup on the other end. It's in New York, baby. It's OG. It's OG's time. He's my MVP now at this point. When you just look at his efficiency, the way he's actually played without any play calls. Right? He's just going out there just making things happen. So unbelievable that he didn't give up on this play. It's funny, like when I kept watching it, I was like, was the plan for him to hoist up a shot and everybody just crashed the board because it just worked so perfectly. So obviously, unbelievable play, the greatest shot in Knicks history at this point.
It's kind of crazy. Like, I feel like the Spurs, there's like some miscommunication now. Like you mentioned, what was the plan there? Fox is defending the inbounder, OG Anunoby, and then they just kind of forget about OG. Like, there's an alternate universe where Brunson sees Wemby and Fox in front of him and passes it to his left to OG, and OG hits a three. He was open, and he was wide open on that dive down into the paint to get the putback opportunity. So, again, just like this discombobulated Spurs team start of the second half until the end, and OG Anunoby, man, like, how many times has he bailed out the Knicks throughout this finals? And to have a moment like this, a guy like him, I'm blown away how this MVP race has gone from Cat and Cat. Oh, now it's Brunson. Now it's OG Anunoby. It's a good problem to have if you're a Knicks fan, right? Up 3-1, you have three really good choices.
Right. Yeah, we should probably just wait to vote on it till the series ends.
Exactly.
It's funny why they do it. I honestly could do an hour on this play, though. Like, you have Victor Wembanyama on Brunson. He's 7.5 feet tall. He's the defensive player of the year. Right. Does De'Aaron Fox need to come over and double? And then when he comes over and doubles, it's like, to KOC's point, at that point, OG had hit 5 threes, so it's not like it's a crazy thought that Brunson would pass it to OG and he would be the one to shoot. And then because you're late on the double team coming over, you give OG a great athlete, a great rebounder, no one to box him out and put a body on him. So I have no idea why he went for the double team. I have no idea why he wasn't back to do the box out. It just felt like a comedy of errors all on one play defensively. And then the one three-pointer that the Knicks missed in the last 9.5 minutes of the game, they were 6 of 7 from 3 in the last 9.5 minutes. The one three-pointer they miss is that one from Brunson that ends up basically being an assist to OG Anunoby.
To your point, you got the best defender in the world guarding a 6'2 player. Mind your business. Play one-on-one. It's 6 seconds left in the game. Everybody got to strap up. The only thing I can think of is that JB had just hit a three over Wemby right before that, maybe a possession before that. So I don't know.
You'll live with it, though, right?
You're supposed to live with it. I don't know, man. I would be very, very upset if De'Aaron just ran over there if that wasn't part of the game plan, if he just did that on his own. I would have been very upset in that locker room.
Man. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case there, because some of the decisions that he made in that second half of the game, and the fact that De'Aaron Fox, an NBA veteran, former clutch player of the year, is making these mishaps down the stretch of an NBA Finals game, and you're like, wait a minute, I think I trust the 20-year-old rookie Dylan Harper more with the ball in his hands. It says everything about the state of De'Aaron Fox right now. I don't think you can blame the injury either. Right. Brunson got knocked out of game 1, and he's dealing with injuries too. So how you react to deal with injuries is part of it. So for De'Aaron Fox, I don't think that's an excuse at all. He's just stunk it up.
So I understand that right now we're trying to remember every top moment, and it happened yesterday, and we cut a few, and we could have done 50 of them, and we probably will just remember the OG block and the OG tip-in. And so some of the producers were making fun of me for my insistence that we include this one. But there's a second and a half left. Karl Anthony Towns is the 7-footer guarding the inbounder. Everyone in the world thinks the ball's going to Wemby. And I am convinced that Castle and that play that they drew up, if Cat doesn't get a fingertip on that ball, the Spurs win on a game winner. So Cat, not great offensively on the offensive end again, isn't going to be the MVP like I was declaring him after game 2. But that is a game-saving play. He gets a fingernail on that pass. Castle is open. That is about to be a game-winning dunk. And think about how we are talking about this whole thing today if the Spurs avoid the collapse and execute that. Cat saved the game.
KOC, I just changed my MVP. I'm going with Cat for the
game.
Who you got?
I think I currently slightly lean OG, but it's so close. I think, like Danny said earlier, it's going to be determined after Saturday's game if the Knicks do close it out. I'm curious, Al, like with you, like the way Cat's jumping up and down, kind of timing that. Is that something taught to have that timing to try to contest an inbound pass like that?
Yeah, I mean, just when you're in that role, when, obviously you're there to hopefully make them throw a pass that is, a little bit higher up in the air so guys can adjust to the ball in the air in case you do get clipped like that and you can get your balance and maybe get a tap on the ball. Obviously, hitting the ball is great. One of the things that, I wonder if he did catch it and bobble it and score it because the clock is supposed to start as soon as it hits his hand. The clock didn't start until Castle got it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of crazy things that could have happened in that last second play.
I don't know who said it online, so I apologize for not giving credit, but that is the ultimate controversy that would have happened.
Yeah.
If the Spurs would have scored, but they would have not started the clock on time, and that's not something that could have been reviewed.
Yeah.
I mean, the world would have spun off its axis if that's how that game would have ended up ending. And I don't know if either of you guys disagree with this, but sometimes we'll do these either-or questions like bigger comeback or collapse. Both.
Yeah.
The Knicks deserve a ton of credit for all of the things they did in that comeback, and the Spurs deserve a ton of blame for all the things they did to collapse in that game.
Like I talked to you about the pressure, right? Now you're down 30, right? You're the one that's hunting.
It was only 29.
It was 29, sorry. You're the one that's hunting. Now all the shots you're taking is not as much pressure anymore, right? Because you're trying to actually get back. The problem is for the Spurs, they were now in retreat mode. They were just trying to, salvage and trying to figure out how to, save the game and win the game. It's two different mindsets and two different freedoms, as you're playing the game.
I think it's 100% both. It's one of the greatest comebacks ever, one of the greatest choke jobs we've ever seen. And the part that's so amazing to me, though, about the comeback side of it is just how there wasn't like a stretch where the Knicks just got super, super hot. Right? I think fourth quarter they had that streak of threes, but it's not like they had 25 points over a 8-minute period like you see in a lot of comebacks in the NBA nowadays. It was chip away, chip away, chip away, get it down to 20, then to 15, it's at 15 for a while, then under 10, it's there, it stays there for a while. It was just constantly just pushing until they finally got over the top, and I just blown away the fact that actually happened last night. Like, this is real. Like, this actually happened. I still cannot believe it. I still get the shakes. I still get goosebumps to this moment right now.
I mean, no big deal. Just one of the greatest games in the history of basketball. KOC, good stuff, man. We will see you in just a little bit. But the World Cup is officially underway, and everybody knows we're all getting excited for USA and Paraguay taking the field tomorrow in California, 9 o'clock on Fox. And of course, listen, this is the type of situation you get a win, you need a point, you need a result, and then history says they're going to make it to the knockout round.
You have one new message. Translating. Disney and Pixar's Hoppers is now available on Disney+.
You could say that again.
Critics are calling it Pixar's funniest movie ever and a wildly entertaining ride. Blizzard Potato. It's certified fresh and verified hot.
Now we party.
This is incredible!
Wow, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers now available on Disney+. Rated PG.
The World Cup is officially underway. Lionel Messi and Argentina looking to go back-to-back. Countdown is on. Argentina takes on Algeria Tuesday, June 16th, 9 o'clock Eastern on Fox. I love a good countdown calendar. The World Cup officially kicked off today. We saw Mexico defeat South Africa 2-0, a very exciting start to the World Cup. Welcome back into World Cup Corner here on the OT, helping us get ready for all things World Cup. Former men's national team midfielder Dax McCarty is going to be with us on First Things First, regulation and OT throughout the entire World Cup. We're so excited that it's here. We also love rankings in sports television. So without further ado, I would like to debut the big board. Jeffrey! My big board, please. My big board. It's Dax's big board.
My big board.
It is your big board. It's pretty self-explanatory. 10-1. You will be adjusting this as we go throughout. Big upsets, big changes. It's a fluid big board. But Dax, take it away.
I love that you said that it is a fluid situation, both in the rankings and in figuring out if these magnets, I'm going to be able to put them on right. I need to get
You're going to crush the magnets.
I need to get my protractor out and make sure they're perfect, okay?
Here we go.
But these are the power rankings to start. The teams that I am envisioning that can potentially make the deepest runs, starting at 10 and going all the way to 1, who I think will be the potential champion. And it's fluid. It's going to change. At number 10, call me a homer, don't care. The vibes in the U.S. men's national team right now are off the charts.
All right, we're on the board.
And I am feeling it right now. Boom.
Just
okay.
throw it on there.
Number 10. And if you saw Tyler Adams celebrate that New York Knicks victory, first thing that I thought of was, please, Tyler, do not get injured. Wrap him in bubble wrap.
I was thinking the same thing. They got slides on their feet and they're jumping
over furniture and they're tackling each other. And I understand the excitement of the moment, but I don't need this. Okay, that's a little bit scary, Tyler. All right,
amazing.
He's one of our most important players. Please don't do that again.
Yeah.
But the vibes in this team right now are very high. And going into a big tournament, you need togetherness. You need a group that is willing to fight for each other. And I think that team is absolutely willing to fight for each other. They're at 10 right now, even though our arch rival Mexico just started the World Cup off very well, winning 2-0. Coming in at number 9, the Netherlands.
Okay.
A team who broke our hearts back 4 years ago. A team that is constantly a difficult out. A team that always seems to step up in big moments. A team that has went unbeaten in qualifying. They scored the 3rd most goals in European qualifying. They still have quality littered up and down their roster. And in Virgil van Dijk, they still have one of the most dominant center backs that is going to be in this tournament. He's a little bit older now. Okay, he's a little bit past his prime. But he played every single game for Liverpool this past season, even in a down year. He is going to be able to anchor a back line. So I have the Netherlands here at 9 right now. Coming in at number 8, Brazil.
Wow.
Nick Wright isn't going to be too happy with me because I think Nick is a little bit of a Brazil homer. But, sorry, Nick, right now, your Brazil boys are coming off their worst World Cup qualifying campaign that they have ever had. They finished 5th in qualifying, and they have a legendary manager in Carlo Ancelotti. But I'm a little bit underwhelmed with their roster. Do you remember the Ronaldinhos, Kaká, the original Ronaldo, R9?
Yeah.
This team doesn't have that same attacking flair and inspiration. They're much more pragmatic. Vinny Jr.
I was going to say, Vinny Jr.'s got the weight of a nation on him.
He does. He's scored 9 goals in 49 appearances. We have yet to see the Vinny Jr. that we see with Real Madrid for Brazil. This is a massive tournament for Vinny Jr., but I reserve the right to move Brazil up because I do think they have the quality.
It's also like kind of champagne problems. They're like, we have such a large drought in Brazil. It's like, you haven't won the World Cup since 2002. Like,
exactly.
It hasn't been that long.
Exactly.
All right, number 7.
Number 7, a team in Brazil's group, a team that I think is scary, dangerous, all of the above, Morocco. Wow. One of the best teams in Africa. A team that had an absolutely fantastic World Cup performance in 2022 where they finished 4th, and they just won the African Cup of Nations. I am not going to go into detail about how they won the African Cup of Nations. Okay. Everybody knows how it happened, but a team that is very dangerous. I think they have one of the best players in the tournament, a fullback. It's not often you can say an attacking fullback is a team's best player or one of the best players in the world, but that is absolutely what Hakimi is. He provides different dynamic to that attack. They will attack direct. They are going to be a very, very difficult out. Coming in at 6, the Germans. Always difficult. Just beat the U.S. men's national team. And while they've been a little bit underwhelming the last couple of iterations of this tournament,
tons of talent.
Tons of talent. They haven't advanced past the group stage in 2 consecutive World Cups, which is almost blasphemous if you are German. But in Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala, I think they have 2 of the most dynamic, exciting young players in the tournament who are coming off difficult seasons. Musiala with a bad injury that he's now getting back to full fitness, and Florian Wirtz at Liverpool didn't have his best season. But I do think the Germans are always difficult. Number 5.
Oh, now it's getting
England.
real.
At this point, England, I'm sorry, it's not coming home yet, but you do have a fantastic manager in Thomas Tuchel. I question some of the roster decisions that he made, leaving some very good attacking players home. Cole Palmer, Phil Foden. And so this is still a really dangerous team. I think a lot of people are curious to see how Jude Bellingham is going to do in this World Cup. I would actually implore you to watch a different attacking midfielder, Morgan Rogers. He just won the Europa League with Aston Villa. He will be one of the breakout stars of this tournament for England. His connection with the best all-around striker in the tournament, Harry Kane, is going to go a long way. Portugal, number 4. My boys from Portugal. One thing you are going to learn about me, Danny, is that I was a former midfielder, and I am obsessed with midfields. If you have a great midfield, if you have a good spine, I think that you have a chance to win any tournament. That is the best midfield in the entire tournament, the entire World Cup. You have Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, Joao Neves. They are going to control games. They are going to dominate. My only question mark, this man on your screen, Cristiano Ronaldo, are we going to see the best version of him? He hasn't looked great, especially against Nigeria, where he missed a ton of chances. And it's a player that I think has a lot to prove, not in his overall legacy, but his World Cup legacy certainly leaves a lot to be desired. His 6th World Cup.
Now we are parsing greatness here.
We sure are. Argentina, the defending World Cup champions. I apologize. You guys are coming in at number 3, partly because you're 4 years older. The spine of your team is
very
the same.
Similar team, right?
It is a very similar
older.
team. Lionel Messi coming off a bit of an injury. He played 20 minutes in their latest friendly, scored a goal, was generally fantastic, as he always is. I think Lionel Scaloni, their head coach, the biggest difficulty he has is managing Messi's minutes. You don't need him in the group stage. Just use him in the knockout rounds when he can get back to his best. Coming in at number 2, I have a feeling you might not be too thrilled with this. Spain at number 2.
All right, here we go.
Boom. This is pretty tall, all right? I'm a short guy. We might have to get this down a little bit.
I can reach the top.
2 players on Spain that have the potential to win the Golden Ball. Lamine Yamal. What's his hamstring looking like? Pedri, one of the best midfielders in the world, one of my favorite players to watch. Spain, absolutely tremendous team, just won Euro 2024. Absolutely should be one of the favorites, but they are not the favorite over this French national team. France is absolutely my favorite. Can I get up here? Yes, I can.
Well done.
Going to need to get a little stool here for me so I don't fall out of my suit. The French national team, they have the best attack in the world. I talked about Portugal's midfield. France, a wealth of options in the attack. They're really balanced on every single line. And do it for the Gipper. Win one for the Gipper. Didier Deschamps, their legendary head coach. This is his final hurrah, his last run. I think the French national team, if they play at their best, they are absolutely the favorites to win this whole tournament.
All right, so few things. We have bonus takes here in the First Things First universe. Bonus take number 1. I love that this is not just the odds. Like, this is Dax's.
Oh, this is me, baby. I don't look at the odds. All right?
You know how I know that? So, bonus take number 2. 9.5 to 1 to win the World Cup. 50 to 1 to win the World Cup. We'll get to the top of the board in a second. Give me a little bit more on why you believe so much in Morocco.
Well, I love Morocco because of the fact that they have such a dynamic player in Hakimi, but they also love to play in transition. I think they have wonderful players in transition. They're quick, they're dynamic. I'm reserving the right, to be wrong about Morocco because they did just lose one of their best players in Bilal El Khanous to injury. Question marks about if he is going to be able to make it back fit in time to be a part of this World Cup team. But there's just something about Morocco, about the vibes of that team, about the way that they play, about the confidence that they play in, the continuity that they have that I really love. And quite frankly, Brazil hasn't impressed me. Brazil hasn't been very impressive in World Cup qualifying and in these friendlies. I think Morocco absolutely has a chance to make another deep run.
All right, so you alluded to it. My pick is Spain. Your pick is France. They're the co-favorites. Neither one of us are out there on a ledge. I will admit to being a small homer. Spent some time in Spain in high school, which is where I first kind of really learned about soccer.
There it is. It comes out.
Listen, everybody has biases. The people you can trust are the ones that would admit it. But Spain wins the Euros in 2024. A young team, but gained a ton of experience from winning the Euros. Feels like a young team that should just be getting better. And Cape Verde, right? Saudi Arabia, their first 2 matches, they're gonna
cruise.
They're gonna cruise. So with Williams, with Yamal, they can rest those guys early,
and I think they should,
so that their hamstrings are not even a question by the time they get into the knockout stage. So I feel like their youth, their depth, their speed, their upside, their big game experience in terms of the Euros. I like Spain.
Can I give you one question mark about Spain?
Please.
Spain, you have legendary center backs, Sergio Ramos, Carlos Puyol, Gerard Piqué. They don't have that, okay? They've got young center backs. Pau Cubarsí is fantastic. Young player. Okay?
They are young.
Emerick Laporte in the back, he's not at his best. I just question when they play against a France or when they play against a Portugal if they will be able to hold up against some of these really dynamic attackers. But I agree with you.
France has the best attackers
and Spain,
in the tournament.
It's clear that they are the 2 favorites and everyone else is in a class below them.
All right, well, we'll see you a little bit later on in the show. This big board is going to be...
It'll change. It's ever-changing.
It's a fluid situation. We'll get to it with Dax throughout the World Cup. Back to the NBA, though, with Al Harrington and Kevin O'Connor. How much of that was on the best player of the world last night? We're talking Wemby next.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get The best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Yeah, we're still counting down. 1 day, 3 hour, 19 minutes, and 14, 13, 12. That's how excited we are. To the second, USA-Paraguay, the opener for the U.S. men's national team. 9 o'clock Eastern, tomorrow on Fox. Let's get back to one of the greatest basketball games ever played. The Spurs, the largest halftime lead for a road team in the NBA Finals ever, excluding the bubble. And then, well, things didn't exactly stay that way. Here's Victor Wembanyama on the historic collapse. Take a listen.
I don't know about the emotions, but it was painful, of course. It feels like we work too hard and give up our leads, just as simple as that. It just hurts.
All right. Short and to the point, not much talk of we're still the best team after the game last night. Al Harrington and KOC back with me. Al, how much of that collapse is on Wemby?
I mean, obviously, he's the best player on the team. You expect more from him, so you have to put some of the blame on him. I think, for him, the learning experience out of this is that this summer you have to go figure out, what parts of the court can you develop your game where you are unstoppable, right? Is that a back-to-the-basket move? Is that, a move from the free throw line area? He has to figure out because right now we don't know where he's going to score the ball from consistently enough, right? I also blame the guards, right, because he needs the guards to loosen things up for him, right? And the fact that they just kept taking 3 after 3. They won game 3 because they were playing downhill. They were attacking the basket. So they got jump shot happy, and that hurt them. And then also the coaching. Right, love Ms. Johnson. We've heard rumblings about maybe should they think about replacing him as a coach already, which is crazy. But I think he does a good job because those guys play for him. Right, they're in every game. They play extremely hard defensively. They really compete every single play. So I think he is the coach for them. But it's just a learning experience for them. And so I would say that the blame should be shared amongst a little bit everybody, not just Wemby by himself.
I think Al's spot on. The blame is shared in this situation. Like Fox, obviously, we talked about him a little bit earlier with all the mistakes he made. Mitch Johnson, there was a 20-point lead for the Spurs. He waited until it was 4 to call a timeout. Castle, 10 minutes left in the third quarter. He gets his 4th foul. He doesn't go with Dylan Harper. He goes with Keldon Johnson, who really has struggled in this series. So there was a lot of mistakes by Mitch Johnson. But Wemby ultimately, for a guy who is the supposed best player in the world, I voted him as MVP. I love Wemby. I'm a Wemby guy. He did choke in this game, too. The 2 missed free throws. He's 3 of 14 in the second half of the game. Not just missing threes either. He's only 2 of 11 from 2-point range inside the arc. 2 of 11 at 7'7". So Victor Wembanyama, I felt like he at the free throw line there looked like he had fear in his eyes. Tom Haberstroh, who comes on my podcast today, he said he timed Wemby at the free throw line. You know how Wemby usually takes the full 10 seconds?
Yeah.
When he's at the line, Giannis style? He took 6 seconds on each of those 2 free throws. He was rushing. And I think that's a symptom of somebody who was in his own head really feeling the pressure.
All right, so we don't talk and share our opinions. We just know the questions before the show, but we are of 3 like minds. I had this as 33.3% Wemby, 33.3% Darren Fox, and 33.3% Mitch Johnson. The Mitch Johnson point, KOC, call a timeout. Did you freeze? Like what 20-4 is insane, and then the only thing that you didn't mention that I will add on to it, when you are up 29 points and the rest of the series you have an extra day of rest, and Victor Wembanyama is clearly not playing on a full tank of gas, can we steal some bench minutes for Wemby? How does he play 43 of 48 minutes in a game where they are up by 20 or more for such a huge period of time? Wemby would have been fresher at the end if Mitch Johnson would have sat him down. So that was the coaching piece of it. The Victor Wembanyama piece, listen, in the third quarter, when they really allowed it to go, Wemby was on the court for 11 of the 12 minutes. They scored 0 points in the paint. That is the first time any team this playoffs, any team, Phoenix Suns, Portland Trail, any team, has scored 0 points in the paint. And it happened in a game where you had a 29-point lead and a 7.5-footer on the floor. Like, you got to wear some of that blame for Wemby. And if you go to the fourth quarter, it is a historically bad fourth quarter for Wemby. Missing 7 or more field goals and 3 or more free throws in the fourth quarter of a finals game, he's the only guy to ever do it. Right. So he was historically bad in the fourth quarter. And then De'Aaron Fox, unfortunately, the video just tells the story on him. He's the former Clutch Player of the Year. Like, pick your poison. Throwing the ball away, committing the foul. This is the one that everyone will remember. Not dribbling it out and getting fouled if it's not a sure thing that you're going to hit the layup, and allowing OG to block you. Not boxing out on the game-winning shot. Like, there's enough blame to go around when it's a historic collapse. It's never just on one guy. But I feel like when it's a head coach forgetting to call timeouts, the greatest player in the world not scoring in and around the basket for basically an entire half, and the Clutch Player of the Year forgetting what he's doing out there, I mean, it's just the recipe for an all-time choke. Absolutely all-time.
I just think with Wemby, I think we just had to be a little patient with him. You know,
well, he's 22.
He's 22 years old. I mean, you got 22-year-old sophomores in college right now. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't hold his water. You know what I'm saying? But, like, honestly, you know, it's just Kobe missed big free throws in Utah as a young player.
I know, but we weren't calling Kobe the best player in the world at that time.
Right, but we're giving him that title, not himself.
That's true. He did say he should have been the MVP, though. All right, on the other side of the heartbreak, of course, OG Anunoby's game winner. MSG was rocking. It was an unbelievable night in this great city. Here's Kat on the fans and the atmosphere.
Man, shout out to our fans, man. They stuck with us. It was an ugly, ugly game. We didn't bring it in the first half. But they stuck with us. They stayed in them seats, and they kept cheering for us, and they kept finding ways to give us energy. And, you know, this is a testament to them. You know, the grit, the resiliency, the way of New York.
All right, KOC, you were there. Should Knicks fans feel like this series is over?
Probably should feel like it's over. I just don't see the Spurs winning 3 in a row. That said, we've seen this story play out before. We have seen a 3-1 comeback in the NBA Finals in the last 10 years. So I don't think it's all the way over, but winning 3 in a row, I just can't fathom that for this Spurs team after this traumatic, tragic loss they had in Game 4 at Madison Square Garden. So I'd be feeling very, 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 very confident, especially given Knicks fans are going to be filling that stadium on Saturday in San Antonio as well.
Well, if you were in New York City last night, you would have thought this series was over.
No kidding, man.
I mean, it was craziness out there. I mean, fireworks, all kind of stuff last night. But to your point, right, this series, they shouldn't think it's over, especially because when you look at this series, right, it's 3-1 Knicks, but it could easily be 3-1 Spurs, right?
I feel like it could be 4-0 in either direction.
Either way, like every game, the Spurs should have won the game at some point. You know, they felt like if they could close a game, they this would be a totally different series. So I would not think that it's over, but I think to KOC point, like, I definitely can't see them winning 3 games in a row, but it has happened before.
I agree. It's not over because these games could have gone either way. It's very hard to see them coming back. But I do want to address just one other thing, because so much of the story that comes out of these things is the celebration in the city and the Garden. And there was this clip, everyone has seen it by now, of a Knicks fan throwing an egg on Victor Wembanyama. Just an all-time doofus move. It's a terrible thing that one fan did. But I would just like to make a distinction between the act of a fan and Knicks fans. Like, the fan who got in the fight with that Spurs fan after Game 3, that fan should be arrested. But that's not Knicks fans. Right. Like, Al, you were at Central Park last night. Like, Knicks fans have been getting mad at the city that there aren't bigger watch parties, turning out tens of thousands, going out to bars, traveling to games, taking over cities, staying at the Garden last night for 20, 30 minutes after the game ended. Knicks fans have been amazing, and there's the saying, like, don't let one bad apple spoil the bunch. Like, that was like the literal egg. Don't let one rotten egg spoil the bunch. Like, that was a bad moment for a Knicks fan, not for all Knicks fans. So just wanted to give Knicks fans their love there. It's been an absolutely amazing series. We will bring Dax McCarty back out coming up next to talk about the World Cup and one of the icons of the World Cup, Ronaldo, in just a little bit, and whether or not Portugal fans should be worried. He was missing chance after chance after chance. And the countdown continues to Team USA against Paraguay tomorrow night on Fox.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases, unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online, and a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business, you'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
Welcome back to the OT. Dax McCarty and I back in World Cup corner. Let's talk last night's friendly. This was fascinating. Portugal took on Nigeria, and they won. But what you are seeing is a lot of missed chances, officially scored as 3 missed opportunities for Cristiano Ronaldo. It seemed like a lot more if you were watching. Is Ronaldo missing these shots, Dax? Something or nothing?
It's absolutely something, Danny. And that second clip there is a perfect microcosm, as is this one. That one's a little behind him, but that second clip is a perfect microcosm of Ronaldo right now summed up in a nutshell. His ego will not allow him to play a secondary role. He knows that he needs to be the goal scorer for this team, and he is going to do anything in his power to be that guy. But those are the chances. Those are the chances right there that were automatic with Cristiano Ronaldo a couple of years ago, and he has stopped scoring those chances. His ego won't allow him to play a secondary role. If the head coach Roberto Martinez went to him and said, "Hey, we need you to come off the bench," I think he would say, "No, I'm starting every single game," and that potentially could be Portugal's downfall.
I mean, do you think that they're going to make that ask of him, or is it impossible given that he's one of the most famous humans in the world?
I don't believe they will make that ask of him. I believe that he is going to play every game that he is fit for, and I believe that he still has the potential to score goals. And
those are a lot of good chances.
And to be Portugal's all-time leading scorer. They have the best midfielders in the world. He needs to be excellent for them to win.
All right, we're back tomorrow getting you ready for USA Paraguay and Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Thanks for watching.